Hello students, welcome to the second lecture on the lecture series on ratio and proportions. Okay, so in the previous lecture we learned some concepts and types of problem on ratio and proportion. What we will be doing is in this lecture we'll review all the topics that we learned in the last lecture and we'll connect to those topics and concepts that haven't been covered and we'll connect those. Okay, so let's see. So let's remember what ratio was. So ratio was nothing but comparison between two quantities. Okay, typically written as A is to B or A to B, and it represents the relationship or relative size between the two values. Okay, so the thing that it represents the relationship between the two values and the relative size between the two values. Okay, so let's see the type of ratios. So there are 5 type of ratios. One is simple ratio, compound ratio, duplicate ratio, continued ratio, triplicate ratio. Simple ratio was nothing but a given ratio. Let's say if you have 4 balls, red balls and 6 green balls. So their ratio will be 4:6. And it will be, after simplification, what it will be becoming is 2:3. So this is called a simple ratio. That can't be further simplified. Can't be further simplified. Okay, so we also saw what compound ratio was. Compound ratio was nothing but two kind of ratios multiplied together. Okay, so if you have A is to B and C is to D, what you do is A by B into C by D, that is equal to AC by BD, that is equal to what? AC is to BD. Okay, then we learned that what duplicate ratio was. So duplicate ratio was nothing but a ratio A is to B changed to what? AM to BM, because A is to B can be written as what? A by B, and what we do next is we multiply with a factor that is non-zero with A and B both same. Okay, so A into M, B into M, and M comma B are not equal to 0, can't be 0, otherwise it will become undefined. So in this case what we will say is, we will say AM by BM is actually a duplicate of A is to B. Okay, so AM is to BM is a duplicate of A is to B. Okay, so then we also saw what continued ratio was. So continued ratio was nothing if you have 3 quantities like A, B and C, and A is to B is actually same as B is to C. Okay, if they are connected in this way, then we say that their ratio is continued ratio. So A is to B is equal to, if B is to C ho gaya, if A is to B is equal to B is to C, then what we say is, we say it is continued ratio. Okay, so then we saw that what is triplicate ratio. So triplicate ratio was nothing but if you have A by B, then how to convert it to a triplicate ratio? You keep the numerator and denominator. Okay, so we convert it to AQ by BQ. Okay, so if you have 2 by 3, its triplicate ratio will be 8 by 27, as is equal to 2 cube by 3 cube. So let's see what proportion was. So proportion was actually the mathematical statement that established equality between two ratios. So if you have given A is to B and C is to D and you establish an equality between them, then we say that they are proportionate, or A is to B is proportion to C is to D. And it signifies what? It signifies the fraction A by B is actually equal to C by D. So A by B is actually equal to C by D. This is what A is to B proportion to C is to D, or A is to B is equal to C is to D means. Okay, we have already learnt this. So we also learnt the 5 kind of proportion, that was inverse proportion, direct proportion, joint proportion, continued proportion and compound proportion. Direct proportion was nothing but if A is to B is equal to C is to D, then we say that A is to B is directly proportion to C is to D. And what inverse proportion was? It was A is to B is inversely proportion to C is to D. If we say A is to B is inversely proportional to C by D, what we write is, we write A is to B is directly proportional to 1 by C is to D. Okay, so what is the relation between A is to B inversely proportional to C is to D. If A increases 2x 2 times, if A becomes 2A, then D becomes 2D. Okay, if B becomes B by 2, C becomes C by 2. Okay, but in this case, that is direct proportion. What happened was, if A becomes 2A, C becomes 2C. If B becomes B by 2, D becomes D by 2. So in direct proportion case, what happened was, the first quantity in the first ratio influences the first quantity of the second ratio. But in inversely proportion, what we see is the influence of first quantity of the first ratio is actually influence second quantity of the second ratio. Okay, so D is influenced by A, and B is influenced by C, and C is influenced by B. Okay, it goes both ways. Okay, so let's see the third kind of proportion, that was joint proportion. So joint proportion was nothing but relationship among 2 or 3 ratios. So A is to B, C is to D, E is to F. If there is any kind of relation between these proportions, then we say that that kind of proportion is called joint proportion. And what is called continued proportion? If A is to B is actually equal to C is to D, and E is to F is actually equal to G is to H, then what we say is they are continued proportion. And what is compound proportion? Compound proportion is nothing but if A is to B is directly proportional to C is to D. That is, if you have 3 or 4 proportion or ratios, okay, and this is how they are related. That is, among their relation there is non-uniformity. That is, 2 of them are connected by direct proportion, and 2 are connected by inverse proportion, and 3 are connected by joint proportion. Then we say that the whole proportion is a compound proportion. Okay, so we already have seen all these. So let's see the type of questions. So there are basically 8 type of questions. One is simple ratio problem, second is proportional division problem, third is combined ratio problems, and fourth is inverse proportion problems. Okay, in the previous lecture what we did was, we covered simple ratio problems, we covered proportional division problems, we covered combined ratio problems, we also covered inverse proportion problems. Okay, and these were very easy topics to master. Okay, and we have already covered an example on each type. So let's see the remaining ones. That is, let's see the problems on mixture problems, the problems on age problems, and the speed and time problems, percentage and profit loss problems. Okay, let's see each one among them. So let's start with mixture problem. So in mixture problem, what we do is we solve problems related to mixing different substances in certain ratios. Okay, what we do is we mix certain substances in different ratio. Okay, certain different ratios. So a mixture of tea and milk is made in the ratio of 3:2. So here what you have is mixture of tea and mixture of milk made in the ratio of, given ratio of them is 3:2 respectively. Okay, respectively. So how many liters of each should be mixed to make a 15-liter mixture? Okay, the question asks us that if we want to make a 15-liter mixture, then how many liters of tea and milk will we need if we want to keep the ratio constant? So keep the and find out additional milk and tea amount. So step 1, let the quantity of tea be 3x liters and the quantity of milk be 2x liters. So total quantity will be 3x plus 2x is equal to what? Is equal to 5x. So step 2 is, given that the total mixture quantity is equal to 15 liters. So 15 liter will be equated to what? 5x, because we just found out that the total quantity is 3x plus 2x is equal to 5x. So given that the total quantity is 15 liters, so 5x is equal to 15. This implies that x is equal to 3, right? So x is equal to 3. 15 by 5 is equal to 3. So calculating the quantity of each component. So quantity of tea will be what? 3x, that is 3 into 3 is equal to 9 liters. And quantity of milk will be 2x, that is 2 into 3 is equal to 6 liters. Okay, so 9 liters of tea and 6 liters of milk should be mixed to make a 15-liter mixture. Okay, So what we found out as the answer is 9 liters of tea is needed and 6 liters of milk is needed in order to keep the ratio constant and make a 15 liter mixture. So the answer is 9 is to 6, that is 9 liters and 6 liters of milk. So let's see the next question. So the next question is on age problem. So in age problem, what we do is we determine ages based on given ratios and relationships. So the ratio of father's age to son's age is 5:2. So if the sum of their ages is 49, find their ages. So ratio of father and son age is 5:2. So let's see. Let's say father age is 5x and son's age is 2x. Okay. So their sum of the ages is 49. So this is equal to what? 7x. So 7x is equal to 49 is given to us. So how we can find out x? So x is equal to 49 by 7 is equal to 7. So father's age is equal to 5x, that is equal to 7 into 5 is equal to 35. And son's age is equal to what? 2x is equal to 7 into 2, that is equal to 14. So 14 is the answer and 32 is the answer. Okay. So let's see. Let the son's age be 2x years, father's age be 5x years. So given that the sum of their ages is 49, that is 2x plus 5x is equal to 49. Solve for x. So 7x becomes 49. So x becomes 49 by 7 is equal to 7. So calculating their ages, what we are left with that is 2x is equal to 2 into 7 is equal to 14 years is the son's age. And father's age is 5x is equal to 5 into 7 is equal to 35 years. That is the father's age. So the son is 14-year-old and the father is 35-year-old. So this is the final answer. So let's see the seventh type of question, that is based on speed time problems. So solve the problems related to speed, time, distance using ratios. Okay, we already know the formula, okay, of speed formula, that is speed is equal to distance by time. Okay, and speed is equal to distance by time and what? Velocity is equal to displacement by time. Okay, these two formula are very important and they will be used in various parts. Okay, these are very important and this kind of formula will be used in various parts in solving problems. Okay, there will be numerous problems based on these formulas. So let's see a problem on it. So a train covers a distance in 120 minutes at a speed of 120 km per hour. Okay, so how long will it take to cover the same distance at a speed of 150 km per hour? Okay, so basically train covers, so train speed is volt is equal to 120 kmph, kilometers per hour, and it covers a distance of 120. It covers a distance in 120 minutes. So in 120 minutes, it will cover what? It will cover 120 into 2, that is equal to 240 kilometers, right? So it asks us that how long will it take to cover the same distance at a speed of 150 kilometers. So we have got the distance and we want to calculate. We have speed and we need to evaluate what? Time. So speed is equal to what? Speed is equal to distance by time. This implies that speed is given to us as 150 km per hour and distance is 240 kilometers and we need to evaluate t. So this implies that t is equal to 240 by 150. So 0 0 cancels out and this will become what? This is 24. So this will become 8 by 5. So 8 by 5 hour. So let the distance be d kilometers. So time taken in 120 km per hour is equal to 2 hours. Okay. So calculate the new distance taken is equal to new time is equal to distance by speed. So d kilometer by 150 km per hour. So the new time taken to cover the same distance at speed of 150 km per hour can be expressed as d by 150 hours. Okay, so D is equal to 120 into 2 implies new time 120 into 2 by 50, that is 1.6 hours. Okay, so 1.6 hours is the correct answer. So let's see the type of questions. So the percentage and profit loss problems. So the problem is, if the cost price of an item is 500 and the selling price is 600, then find the profit percentage. Okay, if cost price of an item is 500 and selling price is 600, then find the profit percentage. So if the cost price of an item is 500 and the selling price is 600, then calculating the profit. So calculating the profit is how done. So first what we do is we subtract cost price from selling price. So the selling price is 600 in this case and the cost price is 500. So 600 minus 500 is equal to what? 100. So let's see how much in percentage is 100 of 500. Okay, so 100 by 500 is profit percentage is equal to 100 by 500 into 100. That will be equal to 20, because 100 by 500 into 100, right? So 500 into 100 is equal to what? This is equal to 1 by 5. So this is 5 and this will be 20. So this will be equal to 20%. Okay, so this is equal to 20%. So the profit percent will be nothing but 20%. So let's see the next problem. So an item is bought for 800 rupees. Okay, so item is bought for 800 rupees and sold for 1000 rupees. Sold for 1000 rupees. So calculate the profit percentage. So in order to calculate the profit percentage, what you need to do is you need to calculate the profit first. So how much is the profit? Profit is selling price minus cost price. So selling price in this case is 1000 rupees. Okay, this is the SP and this is the CP. That is cost price. So 1000 minus 800. How much is it? It is 200 rupees. So the profit percentage is 200 rupees. Okay, so the profit is 200 rupees. We want to calculate the profit percentage. So let's see the step 2. That is calculate the profit percentage. So profit percentage is equal to what? Profit by cost price. So profit we just evaluated 200 and cost price we all know that it is 800. So how much will be? It will be 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 into 100 is equal to what? 25. So 25% is the profit percentage. So basically, if an item is bought for 800 and sold for 1000, then their profit percentage will be 25%. So let's see the next problem. So in the next problem, what we have is, we have a shirt that is bought for 750 rupees and sold for 900 rupees. So after giving a discount of 10%, find the profit percent. So shirt is bought for 750 and sold for 900. So this is cost price, CP. This is selling price, that is SP. Okay. So after giving a discount of 10%, find the profit percentage. So discount is given on selling price. Okay, so 10% of 900 is equal to what? 90, because this is equal to 900 into 10 by 100. That is indeed 100. Sorry, 900 by 10 is equal to 90. Okay, 90 is the correct answer. So 900 minus 90 will give us the price after what? Discount. So we want to calculate that. So now the new selling price becomes what? New selling price is 810, because 900 minus 90 is equal to what? 810. So 810. So the difference between 750 and 810 is what? 160, because 810 minus 750 is equal to 160. So 160. How much is 160 of 750? So 160 by 750 into 100. So how much is it? It is 810. And then we get the difference. It is 60. Sorry, this is not 160. This is 60. Okay. So we multiply by 100. And then what we got is 60 by 750 into 100 is equal to 8%. That is approximately 8%. So if a shirt is bought for 750 and sold for 900, after giving a discount of 10%, the profit percent will be 8%. Okay, this is what we have got. So since we have covered many types of problems, let's revise them so that we could keep it in our head. Okay, So we saw the type of problems, that is simple ratio problems, proportional division problems, combined ratio problems, inverse proportion problems. Then we saw mixture problems, age problems, speed and time problems, percentage and profit and loss problems. Then what we had mixture problems. So mixture problem was nothing but solving problem related to mixing different substances in certain ratios. Okay, for example, tea and milk where ratio remained constant. What we wanted to calculate was, if we want to make a mixture of 50 liter, then how much more milk do you need and how much more tea do you need. Then we saw what age problems, that is determining ages based on given ratios and relationships. So given that the ratio of father age to son's age is 5:2, so if the sum of their ages is 49, then find their ages. And then what we had speed time problems, that is we had a train. Okay, a train covers a distance in 120 minutes at a speed of 120 km per hour. So how long will it take to cover the same distance at the speed of 150 km per hour? So it took us nearly 1.6 hours. Okay, then what we did was we did some percentage problems. So percentage problems was like this: if the cost of a price is something and its selling price is something more or something less, then what will be the profit percentage? So more or less the problems based on the 8 kind of question is on profit percentage. Okay, profit or loss percentage. Okay, let's say if you have an item that is its cost price is 500, okay, its CP is 500, but its selling price is 300. Okay, you want to calculate the loss percentage. So what you do, you calculate the loss. So loss is equal to what? 500 minus 300 is equal to 200. Okay, then what you need to do is you need to calculate how much is the less percentage, okay, or loss percentage. So loss percentage will be 200 by 500, okay, into 100. So this will be equal to 2 by 5 into 2 by 5. Okay, that is equal to 0.2%. Okay, this much amount of percent. So 0.2 is equal to what? 20%. Okay, 20% loss in that case. Okay, so then we again saw another problem, that is an item was bought for 800 and sold for 1000 rupees. So we wanted to calculate the profit percentage. So in profit percentage, what we saw selling price minus cost price is equal to profit, that was 200, and then we saw the profit percentage formula, that is profit by cost price into 100. Okay, so let's also remember the type of ratios and type of proportions. So type of ratio is simple ratio, compound ratio, duplicate, continued, and triplicate. We also, what are they? Okay, we have descriptive analysis on them. So then we saw what proportion was, and then we saw the type of proportion: direct proportion, inverse proportion, difference and similarity between these two. We saw joint proportion, we saw continued proportion, and we saw compound proportion. Okay, then we saw the 8 type of questions. Okay, since we have covered all the concepts and types of problems on ratio and proportion, in the next lecture, what we'll be doing is we'll be doing some exercise problems. Okay, so that all the type of concept that we have already covered right now, we'll use them there so that it keeps in your head. Okay, and in exam, that is the most important aspect. Okay, practicing problems and keeping all the concepts in our head, because if one concept is missing there and you have a question on that concept, then you are left out with nothing. Okay, and please remember all these types and what are they, as we have descriptively discussed all of them. Okay, so that's all for now. Thank you.